All right, everyone. Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, the websites by plebes or plebs, and also hardware updates sometimes too, right? Do all this stuff, and Nico has this nice mic cover that I can't get over. Anyways, let's go to the numbers. Let's do it.
Number time!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 691,789. The Bitcoin price, stackable, 30,830. I got some before. Anyways, chain rewrite days, 1,067. Total public lightning capacity, 1,880.98. Yeah.
That's the signal. That's the signal, bro. That's the signal.
Indeed. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 4.91%. Sats per dollar, you're getting more, 3,240. Yep.
Man, listen, I want to have a moment of silence for Satoshi. He died.
Bitcoin's dead again, huh?
Yeah.
Long live Bitcoin.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Unfortunately, we could revive him. What do we do, Phil?
But if it's dead, then why is the lightning capacity going up?
That's true. Did you hear that, Satoshi? We just revived Satoshi! Oh my god!
He's paying attention to the lightning capacity.
He's been alive the whole time. He's been fucking with us. Anyways. That was amazing. Phil, it's time for it.
The daily fail. All right. This is a fellow toxic Bitcoiner that I really love. I think Rory is awesome. Okay, I'm talking about Rory Highside, and he's super low key. Okay, and he just doesn't do a lot with the attention and everything. But the thing is, he goes out and he finds great info. So check this thing that he put together. I'm going to take you guys through this terrible story of ultra scamminess. Okay, so here we go. The main piece of this story is Alex Saunders, right, from Nuggets News. This also has to do with Richard Hart. And for the people who don't know who Richard Hart is, he was a hardcore Bitcoiner. Then he went and became a total freaking shitcoiner and pretends that he's not scamming people because people are willingly buying his shitcoin. So it's not a scam. So this is what happened, okay? This is what Rory found, okay? This is from Alex. I won't muck around, mate. I had someone screw me over with an OTC. I only do them for people in my network, not officially. And now I have some not nice characters saying I owe them. So I need a whale for a short-term loan. So he's going to Richard, asking him for a loan. I've got plenty of funds. Of course, right? He's got plenty of funds, but they're just not liquid. So instead of moving his own funds, he'd rather borrow money from somebody else. It's almost like taking a risk with someone else's money. I only really have contact with a few OG whales. Eric Voorhees is too nice. Wouldn't want to ask him. Roger Ver would want me to turn BCH for him. Charlie Lee acts poor despite selling the top. And Andreas wouldn't do it. I figured you've got a bit of loan shark DNA. Name your terms. This is, so... But what about all the shilling that goes on? I thought you're getting paid from that. What happened there? Look at what Richard responds. I assume you're in things that aren't that liquid. You think? I know we've had a bit of a banter in the past, but this is serious, so I'm trusting you here. And look at what Richard comes back to him with. He goes, I'm cheap as fuck. You have to reach out to your community. They will understand. He's begging Richard. He's also willing to shill his shitcoin. So check this out. This is actually really funny because I saw this a couple of weeks ago and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. He understood exactly how the shitcoins work. And he's like, we just have to do better marketing than they do. He gave up on working in Bitcoin, and not necessarily working in Bitcoin because he never worked in Bitcoin, but kind of working around Bitcoin, and instead started shilling his own shitcoin project. Hex, right? And I think they refer to themselves as hexicans. Anyways, so look, Richard is a huge proponent of extending life sciences and stuff like that. So, but one of the things that he really likes is this SENS Foundation. Okay, so let's go take a look at this. The SENS Research Foundation. Our research emphasizes the application of regenerative medicine to age-related disease with the intent of repairing underlying damage to the body's tissues, cells, and molecules. Our goal is to help build the industry that will cure the diseases of aging. That sounds awesome.
It does.
Right? That sounds amazing. That sounds like you don't have to make a shitcoin to get funding. That's how good that sounds. But not when you've got Richard around. You got good old Dick Hart. You've got a pulse chain airdrop coming. But the best part is this. Let's say you were one of those hexagons. Well, unfortunately, let's just highlight that right there in red. Make it pretty. Can't accept hex. Can't accept it.
Or XRP.
But guess what? They accept Bitcoin.
Of course they do.
Of course they accept Bitcoin. Right? And they accept, and they also accept, like PayPal and Venmo and all that crap. But you see, so look at that, right? I made a currency for you to use. Anyone can use it. I'm not going to accept that currency, but you can. You can buy my bags. You can buy my bags.
Dude, man.
What a scammer. Anyways, so these poor people at the Sense Foundation, which I believe are probably doing something fantastic. And don't get me wrong, if you've ever listened to Richard speak, he's a great speaker. You know what I mean? He could sell, he could sell ice to the Eskimos. So I'm absolutely positive that they were all like, thank you, Richard. May I have another? So...
Dude, listen.
That's a whole bunch of fail, right? So,
bro, you just took me through a whole story that I didn't even know existed. But does it surprise me? No, because I've been in this long enough. But man,
what the funny shit?
What the fuck? And it's always, remember the other one, the kid token? It's always for the kid. This one's just for aging. It's always, it's always that. But it's always so funny because it's like, what do they want for that? What did they want for their token in return? Bitcoin. That's what they want. They want your Bitcoin. So they made a token to manipulate you to get your Bitcoin. That's what all shitcoins do, And if you've been in this space long enough, you understand that very well, right? And if you've been in this space and you don't understand that, that's because you made the shitcoin, right? But Phil, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that it's just kind of depressing, right? Because this company should be able to, find funding a different way, not necessarily through issuing a shitcoin.
It just ruins their legitimacy. I'm not looking at that company seriously anymore. Like before, maybe I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. But before I would have been like, whoa, that's cool. That's really interesting. That's like a noble goal,
right?
And then it's like, okay, but send your not shit coins to fund us. Don't send us your shit coins. Send us everything else. So I don't know. It's ridiculous, but an amazing fail, dude. I didn't even know that existed before this. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
Okay, so unlike the Paraguayan politician we covered yesterday, Nayib Bukele is a boss. Okay, let's check this out. He still has the laser eye memes, by the way. Laser eyes. Anyways, check it out. Anti-electricity cartoon from 1900s. And it's crazy, dude. There's like a light bulb, there's death. People, and they actually did this, and
the horses are dead.
Yeah, everyone's dead.
The horses died. Electricity killed them off.
And I'm sure it's because the gas companies, were against electricity because it was going to put them out of business, just like the IMF and the World Bank. They're kind of reacting the same way,
Think about the candle lighters, the people that light the candles on the streets.
Oh man, think about all the administrators at the bank. Think about them, Phil. Think about them. Right.
Who else is going to stand there while money does its thing without their assistance?
Man, who else is going to press the button to print the money? Who? You
can't just trust anyone.
Oh man. But
there needs
anyways,
to be a committee.
We've never rated a meme by a sitting president before, so that's pretty awesome. And because it's pretty awesome, Phil, you're gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna give it the Crypto Cloaks 21 milligrams Bitcoin orange pill mic thing, 3D printed mic thing.
Damn.
What about you, Phil?
I can't beat that. It's a tough call. It's a really, really tough call.
Remember, it's by a president.
I know, that's why it's by a president, and I wasn't ready for this. I don't even think I have anything here that's like president worthy. You know what? You're gonna help me out with this.
I got you.
I'm gonna give it top hat.
Oh, okay,
Very
okay.
presidential. Give
That
it the
is
top hat,
that is
right?
very presidential. Phil in a top hat. Man, people would pay money to see that. I'm not even kidding. Orange pill and Phil in a top hat for Nayib Bukele. A presidential tweet, baby. But anyways, do you guys agree with us? Of course, you disagree, let us know down in the comments. And of course, join our Telegram group. Drop us some links for memes to review on the meme review. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
The Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, guys, today we are covering one of our favorite topics on this show, inflation, and how the mainstream media covers inflation and what the reality of inflation actually is. Anyways, check out this article from December 30th, 2020. As the economy picks up speed through 2021, investors could have to wrestle with some unexpected inflation pressures. The reason I highlighted unexpected was because...
Really?
Really, exactly right.
Like, have we been living under a rock?
But hold on, if only for a little while. In fact, many see inflation moving towards and perhaps a bit above the Federal Reserve's 2% target. Just remember, a bit, okay? Let's check out this article from July 15th. You can't make this up. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but it's like, guys, like, look how ridiculous this is, man. Like, seriously, like December 2030, these people have the same tools we have. Like, what the hell are you guys saying? Now they obviously can't hide it anymore. We saw the White House propaganda saying you'll save 16 cents on your first 4th of July meal. Like, it's like they can't cover it up with the propaganda anymore. So check this out from this article from this year, July 15, 2021. Yellen sees several more months of rapid inflation. Complete contrast of what this was saying. And the reason is because they're lying to you. They know that. They know that. It's very obvious, okay? So anyways, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen cautioned Thursday that prices could continue to rise for several more months, though she expects the recent startling inflation run to ease over time. Yes, remember that. Ease over time. Just how... In this article, it claims only for a little while. It's always only for a little while, right? It's so ridiculous. The Consumer Price Index, which measures costs for a wide range of items, increased 5.4% in June. The fastest pace in nearly 13 years.
30 years.
I wonder why. Okay, let's continue. No, 13 years. 13
Oh,
years.
yeah, sorry. I was reading the spot on the bottom. I'm like, what?
Excluding, remember, this is excluding food and energy, which is what most
people need the most.
Exactly, right?
We're going to take out the things you need the most.
The gauge rose 4.5%, the fastest acceleration in nearly 30 years. But remember, there's only temporary, and there's absolutely no inflation. And Phil, hold on. It gets worse. Like, I laugh not because it's funny, but just because of how ridiculous the situation is. And they're still saying Bitcoin is crazy. Check this out. From $900 billion to $9 trillion over 13 years and two major crises. It ain't over till it's over. Why the Fed's balance sheet is expected to top $9 trillion after it starts reducing its monthly asset purchases. Okay, so what does all this mean? What does this have to do with this? That's a very good question. Okay, so how does the Fed issue money? Right? How do they do it? They buy the bonds themselves and they put it on their balance sheet, and in exchange,
they pretend.
They pretend, exactly.
Right? It's really the
It-
Mandrake mechanism, but
exactly,
they pretend.
Exactly. You're just giving it from one pocket, you're putting it to the other pocket. But this is the justification in the fiat system. This is the justification. This is okay. We're allowed to print this much money because the Fed, right? Buys the bonds, but gets the debt, right? Look at the Fed. Remember, this is a 2008 financial crisis. This was when Bitcoin was born. Remember that, right? Look at that. Just keeps going up. Now, the question to you guys is, first of all, they tried to stop this back in late 2020, and they had a repo market emergency. They tried decelerating the printing of the money. back in December of 2020. And what that caused is it caused kind of this mayhem in the repo market, right? Which we also covered. So this idea, right, that Yellen is saying that this inflation is temporary, right? That it's not going to stop. Guys, they can't stop printing. Okay. They don't have a choice, right? Those articles are framing it as if like, you know, we're gonna decelerate, you know, the asset purchases. We're gonna, you know, get the Fed balance sheet down lower, you know, because we're gonna stop printing money. No, that's not what's gonna happen at all. Like, the writing is on the wall. Like, look at these charts, guys. Like, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist.
These numbers are terrible.
$9 trillion. Look, this chart goes back since 1960, man. And look at this line all the way up. Okay? And now they're in such deep shit that they can't hide it anymore. They have to tell you. Several more months of rapid inflation. Do you seriously think this is going to stop? That's the question. Do you seriously think? Look, guys, just to give you a perspective, $9 trillion is 32% of the US GDP. That is how much shit is on the Fed's balance sheet. Like, it's like, opt out, buy yourself some fucking Bitcoin. Okay, Phil, I'm gonna shut up.
Several months? Like, that's totally, I mean, that is complete management speak. That all that is open-ended. Several could be anything. Several could go on forever, right?
Listen, guys.
You know what? Yeah.
No, I just wanted to say, guys, I'm not a finance guy. Okay, I'm not a finance guy.
Neither of us are.
I don't know the technical jargon. We're gonna bring in a guest tomorrow to kind of explain what's going on with the reverse repo market and all that stuff. But you have to understand that from two perspectives of two simple plebes, we see this. The writing's on the wall. It's not rocket scientists. It's not rocket science. And obviously the mainstream media is just colluding with them and saying everything's just fine. Everything is not just fine. Inflation is real. Inflation is here to stay. And it looks like we're heading towards hyperinflation. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this. And the way that you save yourself is you buy yourself some Bitcoin. Phil, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, not at all. It's, you know what, as you were mentioning this, it makes me think, you know what, the money printer, I hope that we could find this, but it really makes me think of the movie Aladdin, when the genie is explaining what his rules are. You know, he's got phenomenous cosmic power.
Phenomenal cosmic power!
Little expense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's the same thing as the money printing, right? Like, hey, you can print all you want, but if everyone, you know, at the end of the day, right, what is the money backed by? It is backed by faith. And even beyond faith, it is backed by essentially our promise to repay all this debt. It's backed by nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
It's like, let's put it on the Fed's balance sheet. Like,
it doesn't matter. It's not even a piece of paper anymore. It's a freaking Excel sheet at this point. And like, they just sit there and they move numbers back and forth. I mean, I'm sure they pay somebody a lot of money to make a very fancy program that looks better than Excel, but at the end of the day, it's not much different.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, the writing's on the wall, man. It's crazy, man. And you speak, and it's funny because if you speak to any of the people in legacy finance and you tell them this, it's like, it doesn't exist. Like, it's like, no, no, we're going to get out of this. Like, guys, look at the fucking charts yourselves and you tell me, okay? Like, you tell me.
How does this end?
Like, man, it's just crazy. And
they just keep printing more. That's all.
Look, I'm going to end the news segment with this very, very, very awesome quote by Ron Paul, just to kind of explain the situation, right? So by Ron Paul. It has been 50 years since President Nixon proclaimed that we are all Keynesians now. What he's referring to is that's when Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971. The results of allowing government via its central bank, the Federal Reserve, to create exactly what Phil just said. These are Ron Paul's words, not Phil's. To create dollars out of thin air have now been produced. Decade after decade, we've experienced relentless inflation coupled with an expansion in the size and scope of government, the likes of which humanity has never seen before. Yeah. So again, that you heard it from Ron Paul's mouth himself. And I forgot to mention the last part, which is the hopeful part. The Keynesian dream, however, is coming to an end. I don't know. What do you guys think when you see this stuff? What do you think, Phil, when you see this?
Okay, so I'm sure that this is going to be an unpopular take, but I've thought about this a lot, and I've had a lot of discussions with, different Bitcoiners and whatnot. And I think that unfortunately, most of us are really, either we're too wrapped up in our daily lives to really care about this or to think about it, even though it is going to affect us in a major way. And then once it stands in your face, it's too late. Okay? Like once it's in your face, it's too late. You needed to think about this way before it was in your face. So what I'm trying to say is that I think that they're going to keep kicking the can down the road.
Absolutely. They don't have a choice, dude.
And something, but what's going to happen is that what they're doing is, and it's very intelligent, actually more manipulative than intelligent, but it's, they're creating a situation where people are demanding the money printing indirectly. They're not saying, I want you to print money. What they're saying is, I want you to help me. And the only way that the government can help, or it's in its eyes, the only way that it, knows how to help is by printing money. So it's done in a very sly way, right? Look, the people are asking for this. We have to help them. We have to help everyone. You got to print the money. But at the end of the day, is it really the people that are getting all of this money? Right? Like we saw, look, and again, I know it all makes a difference on which news source you watch. I wish that I wish that the government could be as transparent as the Bitcoin blockchain, and we can go and actually look up a lot of this stuff and see what's in all of these things. Look, what, how much money are we giving to all these other nations? Like, why is it not a good idea to help your own country first so that your country can be strong, and by being strong, you can then go and help others, right? You're pretty useless if you're weak.
Yeah, they
it makes no sense.
They have an unlimited. Ron Paul said it. You said it. I said it yesterday. They have an unlimited money printer. Okay, and it's corrupted them to the bone. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
To the point they won't even help their own people. To the point, right? It's like we have mentally ill people walking around in the streets that can't get help, that should not be out in the streets, right? And that's just one tiny little slither of the problem. That's not even the whole thing. And yet we're going to donate money to fix gender issues and frickin', I don't know, some other country on the other side of the hemisphere.
It's almost as if the moral decay of society is directly tied to essentially how fake the money is, right? So the faker the money becomes, right? The faker, it gets disconnected from reality, right? Proof of stake. People start to become weak. It goes, but remember Brandon Quittem when he came on the show and he was talking about the fourth turnings and how, strong men create good times times create weak men create bad times. We're in this cycle right now where weak men have created very bad times for us.
They're creating bad times.
Yeah.
This is we are in the throes of them creating, you're absolutely right. This is the result or the beginnings of the results of those bad times.
I completely agree. But hey,
yep.
You know what?
We've got the Karn.
We got a solution, baby.
Stop taunting me.
And the solution is this. Take the orange pill. Free yourself from the fiat matrix. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, we've got Zeus version 0.5.2. For the people who don't know what Zeus is, that is made by Evan Kaludis, fellow Bitcoiner. Check him out. And that is a Bitcoin Lightning wallet.
Awesome.
Anyway, down below in the show notes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you,
Phil. I wasn't
done. Sorry. All right, guys, that was our show. But before we go, guys, I just want to let you guys know, this is Simply Bitcoin. We've always been transparent with you guys from the beginning. We're just two plebs We're
You can see right through me.
We're Bitcoiners through and through. What we know, our subject matter, I don't want to say expertise because no one's an expert in Bitcoin, but what we really are knowledgeable about is Bitcoin, right? So this legacy financial stuff, we're trying to cover it to the best of our abilities. But I hope we made the point because it's very apparent. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. But anyways, we will have somebody who's more informed on the legacy system on tomorrow, and he's going to explain essentially what's going on with the reverse repo market. Because if you think what we showed you today was insane, wait till we show you tomorrow. But anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective and the catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails, definitely consider subscribing, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Money creation is fake.